Hey guys, it's me, Alex Greif. Welcome back to my channel. Like I said, I wanted to do a bunch of interviews with people that are doing interesting things, and I wanted to start introducing these series of videos in 2020, and this is kicking off that series, and I'm sitting here with Piera Lolandes from INDIEWAVVES. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what INDIEWAVVES is, and maybe tell me and everyone else how we met and like
who
you
you
are,
guys
and, like, let's just kick it off.
that way you guys or my followers as well get to know a little bit more about me, because we all know that Instagram and YouTube and the socials, we just tend to show what we want everyone to see, but we don't always get to be as candid and personal like we normally did when we first met.
How did we first meet? I mean, it was the other night.
Yes.
So this is a quick turnaround.
But this is what I love about people who are willing to say, hey, I love what you're doing. Do you want to sit down and talk about it in camera? Because a lot of times we obviously talk and we have great conversation, but we met at our friend's screening for something that she directed. It's honestly really great.
Yeah, a web series.
It's a web series.
Shout out to Denise Reed.
Yes. So we met through our mutual friend, Denise, who's an amazing actress. Funny enough, I went to acting school, but I did not meet Denise through acting, but that kind of like bonded us because I've gone through that whole process, and now I'm more in the music world. Mm-hmm. So we met that night, instantly sort of kicked it off
because we both bonded over food.
Yes, aside from the food
and guac and chips
and trying to steal them from the other tables. Okay. That's just like a little
She's
side thing.
She's putting us on blast.
Yes, but it's honestly like I feel like that's what food is about. It brings people together, and then events like the one that Denise had, it brought us together as well. So that's initially how we met, and my friend Aisha recognized you from her Instagram.
Yeah.
So we kind of bonded over how it's funny to see, like, you see certain people on other people's IG stories, and then when you see them in real life, you're like, oh, I kind of recognize you, but I'm not fully sure who you are.
Yeah.
I feel like that might happen. It is wild.
So we met that night, and
Correct.
It was great. We ate so much, and we had champagne, which was fantastic.
Yes.
And we were talking about how you have like a music blog, and then I mentioned that I, made a song and I put it out to the distribution platforms or whatever. And I really wanted to sit down and learn more about what you do at INDIEWAVVES, and thank you for sitting.
Started.
How it all got started,
Yeah.
and thank you so much for sitting with me, because a lot of the time I will talk to someone and be like, let's collaborate, or, let's set a date to like do such and such, and that person is down in the moment, but then it's very difficult to actually come together and make it happen. So thank you for being so receptive and open and just like down to do this, because I can't tell you how many times I've been pulling people's teeth just trying to like make something happen. So this is really special, and I'm excited to see what we talk about.
Thank you so much for having me. I thought this was a perfect opportunity to also kind of get to share a little bit about what I do. If you go onto my IG, you're probably going to see a lot of just music and the bands that I sort of interview and come in contact with, but not so much about myself. I call it a personal blog because I'm trying to be personal enough to the point where I'm the bridge between the content I put out and the artists that I'm trying to help sort of promote their music and what they're doing. So I'm always down to do stuff like this, and I'm really grateful that you decided to have me. Also, shameless plug, you're going to get to know a little bit more about his music and what you do on my IG, because that's basically what we're going to turn the tables, and I'll be the one sort of interviewing him, because I thought that was really interesting as well. But so like I was saying, I moved from Miami, which is where I was raised. Ooh, yeah, I know. I don't know why I live in this cold weather. Yep. From
so cold.
Yeah, here to it was maybe like 9 years ago. So I came for acting, which is something that it's not saying that I no longer do it. I've been in like Denise's music video. That she also directed, and
crazy makeup scene.
And, yes. So I put my acting skills there, and then I've also been in another friend's music video. So actually, 2 other people's. So I still sort of do it. I'm no longer in that sort of industry.
Yeah.
But the way that I got started in music was I had just had friends who were either playing for like well-known musicians that I thought it was really cool. And growing up, my dad was it's still to this day, huge music lover. And I think thanks to him, my brother and I have this really sort of obsession with music, just like he does. And I kind of transitioned that into a career that the way that I see it, I didn't want to sit down and wait for someone to kind of like hand me a job and tell me like, hey, this is what you can and cannot do. I think that is the beauty of living in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
You can just start
and just
creating.
the power of the internet too.
Yeah, and the power of the internet, just starting to create, and then obviously hustle. Like you do have to hustle and do your work and sort of be kind to everybody because you don't know who you're going to be meeting, and that's basically how I got sort of more started, or just began honestly without even having a platform. I created that for myself basically.
Okay. And it was just because you found like the music scene interesting and you had friends in the music scene and you just felt like you had that kind of access, and or it was just something like you just gravitated towards the music?
I think I just sort of gravitated towards just music and having my friends who, I think it's also because I wasn't extremely sure
was this
what
after
it
you had
was.
worked at a company where you were doing similar work? Or
No,
this
I
was
actually, I worked for a music company thanks to the bit of work that I had been doing on my own.
Cool.
So I guess I kind of came across...
So you were just interested in...
I was just interested, yeah. And it's also because when I sort of stopped doing the whole acting thing, like going to auditions and fully pursuing that as a career...
You wanted a creative outlet.
I still wanted to be creative, and I literally sat down and for the life of me, I was like, what else do I love to do? Like, what else is a passion of mine? Because I think we all sort of go through these ruts also that no one else can pull us out except ourselves. Like, really look deep down and ask yourselves those sort of questions, like, what else do I envision myself doing for the long run? And something that no one else is going to be sort of telling me to do it or kind of pushing me. Like, I need to push myself and take sort of that full of responsibility. So I just started making content. So my kind of content was sharing music. I still to this day, that's what kind of started everything off. I just wanted to share music not only with my friends but sort of in a more broader range, but make it more creative.
And how did you share it? Was it always on Instagram, and what was the way that you were sharing it?
So I kind of started writing first for this first website that I have. I took it down. I no longer have it. I'm currently working on a more professional looking one, but for now it's solely on Instagram. So I started with that, just basically writing down what I thought about a song.
In the caption.
Yeah, either in captions, but this was when I did have the website. I would write little blog posts about it, and like it wasn't like I went to these gigs and took pictures of the artists. So just kind of started doing that, and then I somehow found a way of recording the audio, and I decided that in social media, if it was going to stay in social media until I made an actual website, I wanted it to be very, what would be the word, like, our attention span just isn't that great. We were just talking about it a second ago.
Yeah.
So I recorded like 15 seconds of a song, and then I would post that and do like 5 songs. So you would be able to preview it and kind of listen to it. And if it was your vibe, you'd be like, cool, I'll check out the full song on my own, rather than trying to force feed you 3 minutes of a song that no one's really going to pay attention to.
Okay.
So it started off with that, and then my brother, who's an amazing motion graphics designer, sort of just stepped in, and he was like, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to help you with your branding.
Wow.
And then it kind of became in that, and then I used to just kind of rely on him a little bit more to help me get all that content out, but also try to put content of myself so people weren't fully lost as to who was putting this up or who was interviewing these artists. So
there could be like a personal connection, kind of like a human aspect to it.
Yeah. Because I mean, I do, when I started working with the music company, you do read a lot about, like, you read from NME and Pitchfork and Rolling Stone, and the people who write for them are honestly so talented. I don't think I would never be even in that sort of platform, or
maybe
even
someday.
But they would describe music in a way that I never wouldn't think it would be like possible to describe a song.
Okay.
So it was a really interesting way for me to realize, okay, I went to acting school and the words were always given to me and it was up to me to bring them to life and create a character. Totally used to that. But then when it came to like, okay, now what do you think about the song? Like, what emotions does it evoke? Like what you want to say, not in the way that everyone else will hear it, because that's the beauty about music. Like I can hear a song and vibe with it. You can hear it completely differently, and it's very personal to you. So then trying to find the words for that, I found sort of difficult, but I still did it. And it's interesting how even in writing and forcing yourself to do something that you're not necessarily comfortable with, you either realize that you like it or you don't like it, and then realizing like, okay, if I'm going to be in the music industry, I have to fully submerge myself in this world and then come out with, okay, I'm comfortable doing this, I'm not comfortable doing this, this is what I like to do, this is not so much what I like to do, and then just continuing it on my own. So I did like the aspect of getting to meet people. I feel like going to acting school made me very much a people person, just like you are. Love having conversations with
So you
literally
would go
anybody.
to the shows and you would walk right up to the artist?
If they were there after their gig, because that's the beauty about New York, not so much the higher, like, you know, the higher paid artists, but
the headliners or whatever.
Right. Or even like now you can go to Elsewhere, you can go to
yeah,
Terminal 5. Well, Terminal 5 it would be a little bit more difficult to sort of just walk up to. Like if you recognize them, yeah, why not? Just I always love when I meet artists just to tell them how much I love what they're doing. And to sort of keep it at that. It's not so much of like, let's take like selfies, or it's whatever you want to do. But for me, it's just trying to let them know that I really appreciate what they're doing, and I don't necessarily have to tell them what I do. Maybe if it comes up in conversation, I will. But I'm no longer like shy of doing that anymore. So it's all about who you meet as well. So just even if you go up and like, sometimes I became friends with like random people that I didn't know were connected to the artist, and it was just because, you know, you kind of like vibe, or they see you vibing so much to the music, they're like, oh, you must be a really big fan, and I'm like, actually I am, like I love what they do. So it's just kind of started like that, and then also having my friends who do play for the higher like paid musicians.
Got it.
They also gave me an insight on what it's like to constantly tour with these artists, and it's a different sort of lifestyle. Like they would be like, maybe you should be a tour manager, or maybe you should be like A&R, and like so they kind of gave me all these ins on what I should be looking into. But till then, I feel like I just like this sort of openness of sort of being like a music influencer, I would guess.
Yeah,
say. Yeah,
like a hub for, you know, music discussion.
Yeah. So with that, I also focus mine more like not necessarily just on independent artists. That's where the indie comes from. It's mainly because that's what I wanted to talk about, like give a platform to artists that are on the come up, but also it be less intimidating to reach out to someone like me than maybe obviously like Columbia Records and kind of send in your music and maybe have no one listen to it. So I like to be that sort of person that will reply to your DMs when I do get, and I do get a lot of them in emails too, and they're just like, here's my song, and I do listen to all of them. So I made it a thing to, excuse me, to kind of keep on continuing to do that, because I realize I do want to become or be more of a platform that's less intimidating for them to reach out to, and sort of hope that.
Do you get a lot of submissions?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and I love it, and a lot of times it doesn't necessarily have to fit in with what they think I only post, so I love it. And
how do you think that they're discovering your platform or your
definitely
social?
Because I made it a thing to research on how Instagram works and what they would call it, like the algorithm, and how it constantly changes, and some people are gonna be like, you know, like F this. I don't know if we're allowed to curse. Like, yeah, but some people are like, fuck yeah, like, F this algorithm, you know, like, it's messing everything up, and I'm not getting enough views, and yeah, that happens, because you look at how much, you know, you're bringing people in, but I do think that it's become a thing, because I've been creating more shareable content, so it's easier when I shout out or feature a song, I make sure I tag the artist, even if it's more than one person. It makes it easier for them to share it onto their IG, and then whoever follows them.
In stories or on the feed?
In stories, yeah. I think there's a way that you can also share it on the feed, but it'll probably appear on your story. There's also the repost app that you could easily repost, and my name will, it's kind of, I just like to give credit where credit is due. I do not make these songs. I'm just more about like, listen to this song, like here's your IG if you're interested and so inclined to find out more about them. So that's what's also helped me, and I feel like that's what's helped it grow, and like I'm so thankful that now it's this like small community. I'm not sitting here saying like I have like hundreds of thousands of followers.
Yeah,
But
you
the
do
thing
have
is,
like
yeah, and the thing is that
a
they
community.
sort of do interact with, what I put out there. If I ask them something, or can you give me a song suggestion, like they're just like, yeah, like you'll love this, or like you won't love this, or like check it out anyway.
And are these all people that you know directly, or are these
No.
like a lot of people that are through the internet? Like
Yeah, just
yeah,
internet. Yeah, and that's
That's
how it's
cool.
become a little community for music
that's exciting.
that I like. And a lot of it is also just the artists that I've sort of just become friends with, and I'm
Oh,
just
that's
feel
cool.
comfortable. Yeah, and I like that. So I love becoming friends with people who make amazing music. I just think that's the best part of what I do is getting to meet the people that create these waves of music that are so amazing that don't not only touch me but touch everyone else in their own way, and I get to sort of pry into how their creative process was,
Mm-hmm.
and I just love it. Like that's why I continue to do what I do. I still want to work with more artists, which is what I love. I feel like every year I've come across more and more people, whether they be in New York or in other places. I That's what I do love about the internet. You don't just have to like stick to your city. But I am grateful to the city because that's how I've gotten to meet a lot of the really amazing people that continue to do music.
Mm-hmm.
Even with the other artists that are really great as well. And I've also learned how to like fangirl on the inside so
Yeah.
that you look very professional because it's
Right.
all a professional setting. When you
Yeah.
do meet like really
Yeah.
like high profile people that you're just like, oh my god,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
you're you.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
that's
hardly get starstruck these days, but I can see how, that can happen.
yeah, especially in the city. I feel like the city after being here for almost 10 years, you kind of
Yeah.
you're okay with it. Like it's
Yeah.
they're honestly normal people like the rest of us. Like everyone says it's kind
It's
of
weird to like see
overrated.
them in real life,
Mhm.
but then you quickly adjust.
Yeah, my thing is I just want to let them know how much of a fan I am, and
Yeah.
I love what you do. Thank you. And that's it. Like that's the most of where my fangirling like starts and stops.
Yeah.
And that's about it. But yeah, that's what indie waves is all about.
That's
and
awesome. I noticed you do like you set it up where you have the feed and you have the previews, like I guess a couple seconds of each song.
yeah.
And then you also on your stories you make it very shareable, where you have a picture, I guess, or you did something like you sometimes do you play around with images too.
Yes.
Because you had a recent thing with like Drake. It was
Oh
on,
my
like,
gosh!
cell phone,
Yes,
like, Hotline
yeah.
Bling.
I'm so glad that you got onto it. Yes.
Yeah. What was
So I try to make my stories because like how we were talking about earlier, we don't always have enough content to constantly properly post on your feed.
Uh-huh.
Probably a lot of the people watching this are going to be like, yes, I understand, but we don't always have like the best outfits to go and like, get pictures taken of ourselves and post them. Like that would be great. Side note to that, I love collaborating with photographers too. So a couple of my photographer friends, like we just go out and like take some random pictures. I don't always post them, but IG stories, like how you were saying, very interesting, and it's an easy way to post something. It's only going to be up for like 24 hours, unless you decide to create a story highlight, which I do, and then I have one.
I was gonna ask about that. Like, you have a lot of highlights, and like, how do you organize it, and like, what gets to be a highlight and stay as a highlight?
So definitely, song of the day is a story highlight. So I post those Monday through Friday, like any other operating regular company would, and it has the artist tagged properly into that. So then every song of the day goes into the song of the day story highlight. So that has its own home. Then release radar. Sorry, it's a knockoff of Spotify when they have a release radar, meaning for every artist that you follow, you have new songs that they just released for that week. So I also do it, and I upload that on my stories every Friday. So songs that drop that Friday, and it's mostly an independent artist, so someone that maybe even Spotify wouldn't have even in their radar. I try to showcase and feature them. So then that also has its own little home.
How do you find the artist that's releasing on like a Friday?
Oh, I do quite a bit of research.
Okay.
And like even prior to that week, that also comes with the bands that I follow. So I try to keep my following to a minimum, because if I overload on my following, it's not to be like petty or anything like that. For me, yes, it's because a lot of these artists will be announcing like
Yeah.
when their song's gonna be out. So then they're like, okay, this song,
So
like
radar
stay tuned.
release is
Like
everybody
release
you're
radar.
following.
Yeah,
Release
or
radar.
right,
I'm sorry.
or not even anyone that I'm following. It could be someone that maybe my Spotify has fed to me that I missed or like slipped through the cracks.
Okay.
So I use that and Apple Music and a lot of other like SoundCloud as well to sort of.
Is there like a certain amount that you post on that release radar?
No, like some weeks is a lot of work because it's probably like sometimes 5 different artists, and they are small enough that I want to show. Some of them are artists that I've already worked with or kind of featured, but I want to continue featuring them, and I'm really like proud of what they're doing, and I love their songs, so I will feature them. Sometimes it's 5, sometimes it's 2. Like yesterday was Friday, so I had 3.
Okay.
And then one guy sent me his song last minute, and I was like, I'll still put it up. And so I put it up, and he was like really thankful for that too. So I was like, I like it. It's a very sort of punky, like simple song.
And it's an image with the song with the tags.
With the tags, very simple. That's another thing that I'm really big on. That I don't know if people notice. There's a reason why album covers or like the artwork is a thing, and I love them. It's like an obsession of mine. I'm a very visual learner, as my brother is as well. So I really like that. I like when they have like this sort of quirky, weird image for their song that sometimes doesn't even correlate to what the song is about, but I still like it. Like it's just that sort of visualization along with the audio. So that's also that's how it helps me kind of have a little visual on, and the sound. The sound has to be on because I want to give you a little preview.
Make sure the sound is on.
Yeah, I want to give you a little preview of what you're kind of listening, because that's the whole point of what I do. I don't want it to just be like you staring at an image and just thinking like, okay, cool, like there's a band and a tag, but I'm not like, what does the sound, like what does the song sound like?
Yeah, you don't want to make them do all the work to have to look for it, and then they might need even it might not even get on their radar.
Yeah, because we're lazy.
Yes.
Unfortunately, but honestly, yes, that was when I started doing this. I was like, I have to make this as simple as possible for the people who do watch what I do. So I try to keep it very simple and easy for you to find these new artists. That's what it's all about. It's like I want you to go on my page and hopefully discover your new obsession, your new music obsession.
It seems like people really appreciate that.
Yeah, and I'm really appreciative of them. Like, yeah, I love it. I try to answer every single DM that I get, even the sort of sketchy ones that I know we all get. I'm just like, sure. I answer all of them.
You answer all of your DMs, even the sketchy ones.
Yes.
What's the sketchiest DM that you've gotten that you can remember?
It's normally like the random fake accounts that are trying to get you to like go onto these porn sites.
Oh my god, I can't stand these Russian women that just like slide into the DM and they're like, want to see me wherever. I'm like,
they're
no,
like, hey.
I don't have time.
So yeah, even that I either delete them and I still read them and I'm like, who is this? So you approve them to finally see their profile. Okay. And then I'm like, oh no. There's been times that I want to be funny and I'm like, no thank you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good on that. Or I just delete it completely.
Yeah.
That's about it. I did get one.
I get those too.
Which is funny enough that you say the other one that I wouldn't necessarily say it's creepy, but I did have a girl who also just started her own music blog, I guess. Because you do have to start off sort of, you have to keep an eye out on your competition. So that's, especially if they're also as small as you are. Yeah, so not in that sense, but you know what I'm saying?
Dead on them.
Don't do what I do. No.
Yeah, you gotta watch your competition, then kill the competition.
Shit, okay. No, but on top, side note, it is very true. Like, I would say kill them with kindness, meaning keep an eye out on what they're doing. And a lot of the times I love what they're doing as well, but it has taught me to stay true to what I do and make it still very much myself. Yeah. Because I realize
that's what's going to set you apart.
Exactly.
It's like being your authentic kind of niche thing.
Exactly. And no one's going to be me. Like, no, there's not a second person that's going to be like you.
So what makes IndieWavves you?
Me. Like I said, like me. Yes. Yeah. It's when you do meet me, you'll like...
It's like you get the essence of you in the captions.
Exactly.
And like what it is that you're sharing and like how you talk about the music.
And also what I loved is that I started doing this because I didn't necessarily want someone else telling me who I could and could not interview. depending on the followers that they did or did not have on Instagram. I feel like when a song is well made, even if it might not be highly mastered and produced or have like the best producers working on it, the fact that this person, got somewhat of their together. Sorry for the cursing again. But they got it together, and they created it, and it's like pretty vibey, and you're like, okay, yes, or I understand what you're trying to convey with your lyrics. I feel like it doesn't matter if you have like 2 followers on Instagram. I might still feature your song on Song of the Day or Release Radar.
That's really exciting for any artist that's independent and getting started, or is just wanting people to hear their music.
Yeah, because not everybody's super witty and knowing like how to grow on Instagram. It even took me a while to understand. Like even then, I don't have like hundreds of thousands of followers because of that. I know that even though I should be posting every single day, sometimes I don't see the value in posting something that not might be like my time or like worth my time creating it and then posting it and then feeding it to people and them being like, this is not relatable, or like I could do without this content, to be honest. But that's just me sort of judging myself on that. But
I think we all do that.
Yes, so that's another and these artists are the same way. Like they might be great at doing their music, have lots of listeners on Spotify, but then you go on their IG and they only have like 100 followers. And like that's totally okay too, that's not where they're focusing their energy at. Yeah,
because it's totally another full-time thing.
Exactly. But nowadays, like even within acting, it's more about who you are as well as like, a lot of my friends live in LA and they tell me that sometimes they can't get an audition because they have to be somewhat of a personality on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, sort of in that you have to be more well-rounded in all of your socials nowadays as well. Yeah. So.
And then I've been listening to a lot of Gary Vee lately, and he just talks about making whatever content just to kind of be on and be there.
Exactly.
And it can be a little bit like a rat race or kind of feel like exhausting, but I guess people find ways to make content out of anything.
Well, yeah, basically. I try to make my content more still within music. Sometimes it might be a picture about me, but it's me talking about how I'm like thankful for the community that I've sort of gathered together somehow.
Yeah.
Or it's just mainly to remind someone like, hey, I am the one running this. Even though I still get a lot of like, even after I feature them, they're like, oh my God, thank you guys. And I'm like, okay, one person. It's just me. But I love it. I'm like, yes, I'll take it. Yeah. And I do have friends that I do work with sometimes and that help me and they're amazing. Like they help me do sort of like admin work and maybe word things differently for more professional business endeavors, and I appreciate that. But for the main part, it is just a one-woman sort of band. Hopefully it grows to more. But till then, like I'm happy doing it myself. And and just making that sort of shareable content.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Talk about.
So my last couple questions are, what are you working on lately? And what are you hoping, like what kind of opportunities are you hoping will potentially take place in the future?
Well, recently I've made this my full-time job, which I'm really excited because I get
Congrats.
to. Thank you. I have the time now to do content like this on a weekend. Today's Saturday, in case you guys don't know.
I'm so glad you scheduled this.
Yes, and we got it done. Yeah, that was the whole thing. So I'll have more time to do this and sit down and kind of pick your brain and talk about. You guys will see it on my channel, but just work on more artist interviews and getting to know them and putting them up and making them as simple and short enough for you to sort of get the feel of the artist that I'm talking to. And I've been working on that and my website, which I'm doing it on my own. It's honestly not that easy. I sometimes feel like
Do you use Squarespace or?
Yes.
Okay.
And they're like, Squarespace is the easiest. I'm like, I must be website.
They have great customer service.
They do, they do. But it's like I'm so particular on certain things, and I'm like, oh, I don't want this to, look like this. But I need to throw that out the window and just get it done.
Yeah.
So I've been working on that. I have a PR company. Specifically, one stands out more than the rest. Somehow they found me, which is amazing. I'm not working for them, but they do send me a lot of great opportunities to interview their artists. So and I'm excited because I've gotten to meet personally and just meet their music, which is great.
Sorry, my throat.
It's okay. But
wait, that's awesome. That's so exciting that you're doing your thing, you're doing it because you're passionate about it, and you're growing this community, you know, even if it's not hundreds of thousands of followers,
Yeah.
but you're getting noticed. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you're getting on other people's radar,
Yes.
which have more maybe clout or have more of a bigger, you know, whatever. But
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's really cool that
Thank you.
a PR company would find you and then reach out to you and see that there's like value in what you're doing.
Yeah, and so thanks to them, they've gotten me to go to the shows, and I love going to shows. I go to a lot of gigs in the city. Not like I go to a lot of them per week, but I do go. I do go to as many as I can. And I obviously keep it very professional. A lot of people might be like, "Oh, you're always out," or like, "You're always out having fun in these gigs." I'm like, it's work. It's still work. It's still, you know, networking. It's called networking for a reason. Yeah, like you can go and have one or two drinks. Never get super sloppy because I'm not a huge drinker anyway.
Yeah.
I love a good margarita, and my whiskey, I love. But
me too.
Right? Like, cheers. But it is something that, you know, it's come with doing this for almost 4 years now. So yeah, wow. I am my own boss, and so with that, the more exciting things that I hope continue to happen in the future is that I hope to continue to meet these amazing artists and listen to more great music, go out to more shows, work with other companies, potentially work for a music company part-time and maybe artist development, and just sort of like taking more care of your artists. I know it's kind of been a thing that more within the hip-hop community that these artists sort of like die. Or not sort of die, like literally. They actually die.
Literally, yeah.
And I feel like mental health is something that should be more addressed, in the music world, because we do have to take care of our artists. I've lost a couple of, I mean, it's not just my artists, obviously, just really well-known artists that unfortunately they might get their feelings hurt or kind of understood through their music, but in reality, and I kind of say this because I've met a lot of them, and a lot of them are my friends, and I care a lot about them. They aren't always the same, not always, like, they're not always the same people that you hear in the songs, or you might think that they're very confident. Like, these are humans with emotions that even though they can relate to you over their music or kind of get their, what they want to say across, it's not the same in person. And they do have a very hard time sort of doing this and like maybe reaching out and saying, hey, I need help, or I know this song sounded really happy and everything, but that's not the reality of my life.
Yeah.
But I think that also comes with the way of like how you market an artist, and so I just want to get to know more of that within the more like corporate sense, I guess. I don't know. I don't have like a definite answer as to what I want to end up doing. I just want to continue to do this and continue to help other people listen to new music. Like, get out of your comfort zone. That's what I want to help you do.
That's awesome.
And that's what I hope.
Well, congratulations on all the success that you've got going so far.
Thank you.
I'm excited to see where INDIEWAVVES goes for you. I mean, it sounds like you're putting in a lot of work. You're getting some recognition. I'm sure more of that will just continue to snowball. So I'm excited to stay on, you know, keep you on my radar.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And we'll do more of this.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I'm so thankful for you sitting down with me and sharing with me and my people, like, you know, a bit about INDIEWAVVES and how it got started and everything. So I hope you guys liked this interview. I thought it was really cool. And for anybody who does music or likes music, definitely consider following INDIEWAVVES and getting in touch. If you're an artist that wants your music featured, maybe reach out to Piera at INDIEWAVVES. And you might get
just call me P for short if my name's too weird.
Reach out to P.
Yeah.
DMP.
Yeah.
Oh, DMP. Just like letters.
Hashtag.
DMP. Hashtag P. Yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, again, you know, hit like, consider subscribing to my channel, and share this video if you feel like there's value in it, or you know an artist that you know you want to be featured on P's Instagram.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, And can't wait to share more interviews with you, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
And give it a like if you just like organic conversation.
Yes, absolutely.
Right?
Oh, it's nice to meet you. Thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so cute. Bye.